What's up, NIO family? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with NIO, Tesla, SPY, and the broader markets. I want to talk about what's happening with the economic calendar moving forward, what you should be watching for as time goes on. Just know that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I'm saying as financial advice whatsoever. And also, if you guys can, please check out my Moomoo link that's down below, or use my QR code right over here to sign up. If you sign up for Moomoo and deposit $100, you're going to get $20 of free Nvidia stock. If you deposit $2,000 or more, you're going to get $50 worth of Nvidia plus a $100 cash reward. Deposits $10,000 or more to get $300 worth of Nvidia plus $100, or deposit $50,000 to get $1,000 of free Nvidia stock plus $100. You're also going to qualify for an 8.1% APY on invested cash, and the offer ends very soon, so please use my link down below to sign up. Anyways, as far as NIO is going, as you could tell, we're making higher highs and higher lows. But one issue is that NIO got a bit of a rejection near this $8 area. We did pop today, but we weren't able to get back above $8, and we're rejecting. This kind of looks like an inverse cup and handle, and this could be dipping a little bit back down to where this trend line happens to be near the 7.35 area before it tries to bounce again. And there is a risk of that potentially happening. Now, they did deliver about 34,750 vehicles in the month of September. We're up 64.1% year over year, and we're expecting another increase in their deliveries, especially as we approach the end of the year. I think things are looking very optimistic, very bullish for NIO. But despite that, the share price already priced a lot of that in. And then on top of this, Mizuho gave NIO a neutral rating, but the price price ratio is starting to dip a little bit right here. So see how this is dropping a bit. That means that NIO is starting to lose a little bit of strength. And if it cools off a bit, that's going to be completely fine. I just can't wait to see what happens by Q4 and the later earnings report that's coming out. That's going to be very big for them as we have good guidance and amazing growth overall. On top of this, I want to add on that the US government has reached its sixth day of there being a shutdown, which means that certain federal workers may not be paid. There's going to be a lot of governmental services that are delayed, and then there's going to be other hardships that could be coming as a result. Usually, these shutdowns don't last that long. They could range from a couple of days to a couple of weeks. So hopefully there is going to be some kind of solution. President Trump mentioned that his administration's in talks with both parties on negotiations, and that's what they're working on, at least thus far. But because of this, some data is not going to be coming out. It's federal data, especially when it comes to unemployment and payrolls. But for tomorrow, we just have Bostic and Bowman giving speeches alongside Myron. There's going to be a lot of Fed speakers ahead of the FOMC minutes. On Wednesday, we still have the FOMC minutes coming out. Then we also have Jerome Powell, the big guy, giving a speech on Thursday. So keep that in mind. For now, there's just going to be a bunch of Fed speakers. There's not really much going on with the markets for the time being. There's a 94% chance we get some kind of cut by 25 basis points. AMD also saw a big increase in their share price after they announced a long-term deal with OpenAI, planning to deploy over 6 gigawatt hours worth of AMD GPUs over the course of the partnership. Tesla's also teasing that there's going to likely be a new launch tomorrow, which is very bullish news. It might be as soon as tomorrow. They could be launching some new vehicle, most likely a new Model Y, the more affordable one. So that's also even more bullish news. There's not much coming out for the market right now in terms of earnings. So that being said, I do see some weakness in NIO compared to the market. So we could be dipping to 7.35. If we don't hold 7.61, then we'll see if we could bounce off that support. So there might be some temporary downside before it tries to bounce again. That's what I think is the most likely possibility. Unless we hold above $8 to be bullish, we are going to be favoring a small downside move. Now, SPY, if we had lost 670, we could have been more bearish, but right now we're looking more bullish because we're holding support quite nicely. If we fail at 672, there is the risk of 670 or below if we reject. But as of right now, we're holding support, so we're going to be favoring 675 or above. The QQQ is also making higher lows. If we end up losing basically support at the 607 area, we're looking for that gap fill back down to 603. If we break 608, we're looking for 610. Judging by this divergence, it's not looking that great. We could be kind of consolidating here. Then we're going to see if we get some kind of bounce or break higher. So overall, we're still looking a bit more bullish on the triple Q. The IWM kind of pumped and came down a bit, so it might dip back down to the 246s. Then we'll see if we bounce or not. ES is making higher highs and higher lows. If we lose 67, 68, we're looking for a bigger dump, but as of right now, we keep bouncing off support. So even if we dip a bit, we could continue to bounce an uptrend for the 6800s, so keep that in mind. NQ is also making higher lows over and over and over again. So if you guys look back at this, we're just bouncing and bouncing and bouncing. Now, could we retest 25,000? Yes, but then we should bounce to continue to uptrend for 25,300. So 25,000 flat could be tested, and we'll see if we rebound. Bitcoin's making higher highs and higher lows. If we lose 123,000, we're going to be dumping a lot more. But as of right now, we just keep bouncing off support, and we're going to continue to uptrend as time goes on. For Tesla, we're looking bullish on the 4 hour. We could be looking for essentially the 460s if we continue to pump. This also looks like an inverse head and shoulders. There's going to be a lot of hype associated with the new vehicle launch. So we're still looking more bullish, and we could see this thing continue to test 455 and eventually 460. Looks bullish to me. AMD dipped a bit. We need to reclaim 186. If so, we're looking for a bigger bounce. I want to see it reclaim 186. Apple's retesting 256. If it doesn't hold, we're looking for 250. Hopefully, we bounce between 255 to 256 and then start to uptrend. If we don't hold this, we could be dumping a lot more. So we'll just have to see how it goes. Palantir is dipping right here. We have resistance at 180 and support at 178. If 178 fails us, we could be dipping to fill this gap. So we'll just have to see how it goes. For AMD, we got this nice breakout, especially after the news that came out. We're going to see if it cools off a bit towards like the 200 area before it continues to uptrend, but overall, it is still very, very bullish. Look for a retest of about 200 and we'll see if we bounce. Might see a small dip beforehand. Coinbase might be retesting 380. Amazon should be trying to push back up to 222. Meta is favoring 723 for more upside. Google looks more bullish, favoring 252.5 or above. It looks more bullish to me. And Microsoft is looking more bullish, favoring the 530s. So for now, tech is looking more bullish. As the VIX is rejecting, the VIX is going to test 16.22. If that fails, let's look for a little bit more downside. We could even make our way down to this lower trend line. As the VIX looks bearish, the market is bullish. But NIO, of all things, is showing a little bit of weakness here. It is due for a small pullback. If it does cool off a bit, it's going to be fine. Could retest 7.35, then we'll see if we bounce. So keep that in mind. It's going to be completely fine anyways. Thank you for listening, guys. Have a good rest of your guys' days, and peace out.